Hi, this is Penny Oates again. I've lost track of which day we are on the challenge today. But today I want to talk about something that can be quite important in any business, and that's the art of closing. Now, I know a lot of people that start working online. A lot of it is because they don't particularly like talking to people and closing face to face. They are a little bit concerned about that confrontation, and so they try and sell everything online, which is fine because I do a lot of online work, and certainly it can be a much more cost-effective use of your time. But there's still going to be a time at which somebody wants to talk to you personally, whether it's in a video, whether it's face to face at a conference or a meeting, or whether they want to Skype you or ring you up because they want some questions answered before they actually come on board, either to buy your product or to join the opportunity you're promoting or whatever. So it's quite important to look at what the art of closing is. And today we're going to go through what makes a master closer. So one of the things I think that a lot of us suffer from is that we've a preconceived idea of what the potential customer might not like, or what they might see as a problem. So we try and avoid confrontation or objections. Now, the first characteristic of a master closer is that they show no fear whatsoever. You often hear people justify the fact that they haven't made a sale by saying, "Oh, well, I'm not one of these pushy salesmen. I don't do hard closes. I'm not a hard salesman." A good master closer is not a pushy salesperson. They are confident in their own ability. They've no fear whatsoever, so they let the conversation take its own pace. They want the customer to buy as opposed to push or hurry the customer into a sale. They want them to buy because they like the product, and they actually welcome questions and objections because they see those as buying signs, so that the customer can have more information to make the decision. The second characteristic, I suppose, of a master closer is somebody that's not selling just for the commission. Yes, we're all in business to make money, and I'm not denying that at all, and it'd be a bit strange if we were working without wanting to make money. But if you just want to make money, you could probably make quite a few sales by closing heavily over a short period of time, but it wouldn't be maintained. A master closer is not just in it for the commission. They want the customer to have satisfaction with their products, and you find the best closers, the best salespeople, are people that are truly committed to the product that they're selling. They have to believe in it, they have to want the customer to have the best possible experience they get, and give them the best possible backup and after sales experience. So that's characteristic number 2. Characteristic number 3 may surprise you, and that's that a master closer never gets down on themselves. They don't make every sale, nobody does. But if they don't make a sale, they just see that as being part and parcel of the job. They might realise that they've made a couple of mistakes, and they might just make a mental note of them, but they don't chastise themselves about it and say, "Oh, if only I'd done that," or "If only I'd done this," or "Oh, I should have done this and I'd have got it if I'd done that." They don't care. They make a mental note not to do that again and move on. Anything in life that involves sales, any business, is a numbers game at the end of the day. The master closer, the fourth characteristic, is the master closer is very organised and straightforward in asking for action. Now, I have to say I was probably one of the worst closers in the world when I first started into sales. I was no good at asking for the sale. I wasn't organised in asking for the sale. I didn't like asking for the sale, and I sort of beat around the bush a little bit. A master closer will be straightforward in asking for that sale. I think what taught me that, years ago I used to work for an agency selling into chemists, and we used to sell air fresheners into chemists, and we used to have them packed in packs of 3. So that's just 3 air fresheners per pack, and there'd be different varieties. There'd be lemon and natural and all sorts of different varieties, and if you could sell in 2 or 3 packs of 3 of the different varieties, you'd done well. Now, one particular time I went to a sales meeting on the Friday, I remember it, and they brought out a new line of air fresheners, and they wanted us to sell them by the gross. That's 144 air fresheners of each particular fragrance, and there was 5 fragrances they wanted to sell. And we all laughed at the meeting. Chemists were used to buying in 3s. You'd have done well if you sold 3 or 4 cases of 3, generally speaking, but to sell 5 gross or more just seemed completely unattainable. But my boss at the time went through the close on what he thought it was, and he realised nobody had bought into it. So he spent about an hour explaining and demonstrating on how good these products were. So by the end of that, we all believed they were good products, but I think most of us thought, still an awful lot of gross. But the first appointment that I went to, I thought, no, I'm going to try this clothes because they're really nice products. He will sell them. He won't be left with them. So I do believe that he's better having a lot in stock because people will come for them. So I went for the clothes, and I remember to this day, at the end of the appointment, after I explained how good they are and he'd smelt them and seen them, etc., I said, okay, so there's 5 fragrances. Do you want me to put in 2 gross of each or just 1? And he looked at me and he said, well, I always find lemon doesn't sell too well, so what about 2 gross of 4 and just 1 of lemon? And I'd made the sale. I was absolutely dumbfounded. That was probably a year's worth of air fresheners on what I'd sold before, but just because I believed in the product, I wasn't frightened to ask for the sale. I got it. And after that point, I realised, never show any fear, never be frightened to ask for the sale, and do it in an organised way. So know what your explanation's going to be and know when you're going to ask for the sale. Now, the master closer will also understand that the customer will have doubts. We all have doubts. They may have fears. They may not want confrontation with you, so they might be looking for a reason to say no without it sounding confrontational. The master closer will know that, and they'll welcome objections. They'll probe deeper to find out what the objection really is. And any question or objection, a master closer will see that as a buying sign and welcome it. The next characteristic is that the master closer is immune to rejection. They don't care. They won't make all the sales. If they don't make the sale, they just move on to the next one. If somebody objects to their product or says something derogatory, or at the end of the day objects completely and says, no, I don't want to buy it, they don't get upset about it. They just move on to the next one. They don't take it personally. A good master closer will never take a no personally. They're not affected at all by resistance. So if they do get knockbacks or they do get somebody resisting the sale, they will just probe, ask a few more questions, and they won't be affected by it at all. They won't get confrontational, they'll just let the conversation take its course. And master closers will always avoid all negative influences and distractions. So they won't be seen in a corner talking to a load of other salesmen about how awful it is or how difficult it is or what's gone wrong. They're going to remain positive. They're going to refuse to get involved in anything negative, because they have total control of their own thinking, and they do not want to be influenced by other people. They're competitive people, master closers, but stress-free. There's a little secret there to being a master closer and being competitive. The only person you really need to compete with is yourself. I remember years ago, I used to get really annoyed because we used to have to go to these sales meetings and put all the results on the board. Now, I generally did very, very well at the end of the month, but sometimes partway through the month I hadn't done very well, and a couple of weeks into the month was when this major sales meeting was, each and every month, and it used to really wind me up because I didn't like putting bad sales figures on the board. And then my sales manager took me on one side and said, I noticed you get stressed out in these meetings when you have to put your figures on the board. You're one of our best salesmen, for goodness sake. Why does it stress you out? It's not designed to stress you out. It's for those that aren't working hard. Why do you let it bother you? And I kind of talked through it and explained how it made me feel. And he said something that I've never forgotten. He said, "You're very competitive, but don't compete with these morons," he said. You're always going to beat them. Compete with yourself. Work out where you were at this time last month and compete with yourself to beat yourself. That way you will improve your performance dramatically. And after that meeting, I was never beaten again in that company in sales. I was always the top salesperson because I competed with myself. And I think that's a very good tip to learn. And then the other thing is, master closers will celebrate success. Yeah, they're not going to go over the top on ego or whatever and be boasting and bragging about it. But if they've made a good sale, they're going to pat themselves on the back, give themselves a little bit of reward, smile, because they know they've done well. They've done their job. So those are the characteristics of master salespeople, but master closers, should I say. But how's that going to affect you? If, say, you've got an internet business and you don't like talking to people, what are you going to say? Well, have some stock answers or questions ready to make you feel more comfortable if somebody asks something. So let's say you're into network marketing, and when you have a prospect, you send them a video or a CD to watch, something like that. When you ring them back, you need to be asking them a question such as, what did you like best about the video? What did you like best about the CD? And start talking to them. And then assume the sale. So if they were to say something like, well, I like the idea of making that amount of money. Well, how do you feel about money? Well, I want lots. Okay. Do you think you deserve lots? Well, yeah, I do. And do you think you're being paid what you're worth currently? Well, no, I don't think I am. Right, so what is it that's stopping you from getting started? And just ask those sorts of questions. Never ever be concerned about asking for the sale. I'm not remotely concerned about asking for the sale. And the purpose of this video for me was to help people understand about how to close a sale, but also the company that I do a lot of work with, Empower Network, has a very, very good training course on developing people to make sales online, to get leads, to produce results. And I'm confident when I say this will help you, so I need you to do something for me right now. And what we're going to do, when I finish this video, underneath it will be a button that says start now. I want you to press that button and it will take you to a video being run by a master closer who explains a bit about the opportunity. And if you think you can progress and become a better person, salesperson, and it will be helpful to you to join, then I want you to not mess about and sign up there and then. So I hope this has been helpful. I'll be back with another video tomorrow, and thank you very much for listening. Bye now.